Good morning, everyone. Okay, well, welcome to Unity. This is our celebration coming home experience. We're going to have this for the next couple of Sundays, next 3 Sundays. So show up and share the joy, the happiness, the beauty, the peace, and the understanding that Unity is an all-inclusive community. And we enjoy the idea that we can be different, but still in charge and in love with each other. So is there anybody here from another Unity today? Is there anybody here for the first time today? Raise your hand. Okay, keep your hand up because we have a gift for you. The gifts are coming down. And keep your hands up, please. All right, good. Pass out those gifts. At the bottom of the bag are the keys to a brand new Cadillac in the parking lot. So, we come together on Welcome Back Sunday. It's not like welcome back, it's like welcome home. Because it's the home where we study life from a level of understanding and truth that we're all sharing that life. That's why we call this unity. It's the unity of all people. And we enjoy the joy of love that comes with the diversity of knowing we can accept each other and bless each other on this journey of life together. You're going to enjoy the service today. You're going to enjoy the message being given by Syntysche.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Welcome Back Sunday here at Unity of Boulder. To everyone here who's in-house, to everyone who's online, we love having you with us to celebrate every Sunday. So thank you. Few quick announcements here. So as you've heard, I'm sure you've heard this a few times today, today's Welcome Back Sunday. And one of the big things that really means is it's the official start of our Sunday school and children ministries here at Unity of Boulder for this year. And that's our Sunday school, which that's our elementary and younger school aged kids. And we've moved that up into Fellowship Hall this year, so it's a nice, bright, sunny area for your kids to hang out with Michelle Pulo in. So if you've never taken your kids to that, it's moved upstairs. It's also the start of our Uniteens, and that's our middle school aged congregation group. And come on up here, Andy. No, just Andy. And speaking of our Uniteens, I want to introduce you. Some of you may actually know him. This is Andy Lennox here. He was our Uniteens director quite a few years ago, and we're so excited to have him back. I wanted to introduce him to you. And if you have a middle schooler that you would love to have them come hang out with Andy, have him try it 3 times. So.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to be back. There's just been something in my heart that's like, I got to get back working with kids. And I've always loved middle school, and I've tried to figure out why that particular age group and whether I was emotionally stuck in that age group. I don't think I am. But I know that that's the age that kids start to ask the questions that when I was that age, I wasn't getting good answers. So I absolutely encourage you, your children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, neighbors, please send them to Uniteens. We will learn together. Thank you so much.
All right. Welcome Back Sunday also marks the start of our YOU program, and that's our high school age congregation members. And here's our YOU director of many years, Melinda Malik. So, Melinda.
At this time, we'd like to invite any high school age or middle school age, like Tyler here, and we've got Michael over there, and if there's any other high school age or middle school age beings, if you would like to come and join us, we would love for you to come downstairs and enjoy this amazing get to know you. These are, I don't know, in YOU, when I was in YOU, I made friends for life, and it also helped to define who I was and what I firmly believed. And without that, I would not be who I am today. So this is a great program to make lifelong friends, and we would love to have you come and join us. Thanks.
There's no sign up for that. You can just walk right downstairs and join that group if you're interested. Or if you have a kid who stayed home today, bring them next week. They are wonderful programs, and they do absolutely amazing, loving work. And that is all the announcements I have for you today. Make sure you stick around for the barbecue. We've got a bouncy castle out back for the little ones, or the large ones with little hearts. So stick around and join us and have some fun with us. I'd like to have Sierra and Dinah come on out.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm going to be sharing a song I wrote for Unity of Boulder, actually. At the time, I was like, I got to get up on that stage and sing. And I didn't have any songs that I felt had a message that was worthy. So this actually was written for this church, so enjoy. When I open myself to the truth of the lies, I see what's wrong in the world, it's just in my mind. I can't do it on my own, but I know that I've got to just try. Keeping the faith that we're all gonna open our eyes. Sometimes I wonder how we are going to get from sadness and anger to bliss, from stand.
We're gonna rise, we're gonna rise, we're gonna
Get
we're gonna rise, we're gonna rise,
down
we're gonna
on
we're
your
gonna
knees.
rise, we're gonna rise, we're gonna rise, we're gonna rise,
Give up your
we're gonna rise,
worries.
we're gonna
Lay down your
we're
fears.
gonna rise, we're gonna
Come
rise,
to the
we're gonna
altar.
rise, we're gonna rise, we're
And be
gonna rise,
here
we're gonna rise, we're gonna rise,
right now.
we're gonna rise, we're gonna
Right now.
we're gonna
Right now. Right now.
we're gonna rise,
We're gonna rise. We're gonna rise. We're gonna rise. We're gonna rise. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Always awesome to have you ladies. My sisters on the path. I love their voices. They brought us perfectly into this space and in a state of knowing our good is on our way and trusting that process. Today, my talk is titled, Your Visualization Can Make It Real. And I'm going to be going back to basics a little bit on the Unity philosophy for the next 5 weeks to kind of just give you an understanding of the basics of Unity. If you're new coming to Unity, I'm the senior minister, Syntysche Groveland here, and my associate, Jack Groveland, he's the minister emeritus, and he does the first service and the meditation service, just so you know who we are. And that was Dinah and Sierra, and those are two of our great leaders in our choir, one of the greatest soloists we have. And at Christmas time and Easter, you'll see them do incredible performances and all that wonderful stuff. So we have all that wonderful things to look forward to with us starting off. This is the big kickoff of the year. You know, we kind of match the school year in church. We've been open all summer, and we've had great crowds actually considering. But now we really, we step it up in the music program. We step up everything a little bit more, and the children's work is really, now we've got all of our volunteers there working with the little guys, and the Sunday school's upstairs now. So if you have children, you want to bring them. We just want to let you know that we're honoring, that there is this variant out there. So we want to have fresh air for the little ones that can't be vaccinated. And they're in there. We're also using ultraviolet lighting that cleans every room before we come into the room, a few hours before you come in here, which sterilizes the entire room. So just to know that we're taking our part in keeping you all safe. And then you're always welcome to wear your masks if you feel more comfortable that way. So the first slide I'm going to give you is the third basic principle of the 5 principles of unity, and it says this: human beings create their experiences by the activity of their thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in thoughts. Human beings create their experiences by the activity of their thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in thoughts. Science has proven that visualizing actually develops in the brain the same possibility as if you were actually doing what you are seeing in your mind's eye. Let's just take that in for a second. Science has proven that visualizing actually develops in the brain the same possibility as if you were actually doing what you are seeing in your mind's eye. So we could actually see ourselves running on a treadmill and lose weight. I mean, right there. I mean, that's just so awesome, right? We could probably go a little bigger than that, okay? Your brain doesn't know the difference if you're visualizing something or actually doing it. So the possibilities are endless when it comes to your picturing power for change, healing, prosperity, love, and so much more. What actually happened to you in the past is either damaging your present life if it was negative by your looking upon it in a disempowering way. However, if you have come up with an empowering way to look and feel about your past, it will change the course of your present life. So we're always talking about that in Unity, that one of the greatest virtues on our spiritual path is to truly and finally know ourselves and love ourselves. And when we truly know ourselves and love ourselves, we are open channels for the conduits and the blessings of God to move in and through our own personal lives and also be a blessing for others. Right? So if what we're holding in our mind's eye can change the course of our life, it's good to reflect in this moment about what we have been holding in our mind's eye. This week, we probably have all been collectively holding something in our mind's eye that could be quite devastating if we are letting it and watching the world news and experiencing what our brothers and sisters are going through on this planet. And I'll get into that in a little bit. So last night I went to bed and I was considering, visualizing some things that I want to create in my own life. And they're subtle things because I have everything I could have ever dreamt of actually in my life, except enough time to enjoy all of it. So it's usually a time thing, right? It's more time to bask in the presence of this beauty that my life is. So I was sleeping, and I didn't sleep well last night because that moon made my dog bark all night long. I mean, it was insane. I was like, and he's not that kind of a dog. He's not got like, Malamute or Husky, those kind of dogs that tend to be like that. He's not that type, but he was just like going crazy. And I'd be like, be quiet, Gilly, be quiet. And he'd be doing these howling and things, and then I'd hear him, and he's like trying to keep himself from howling, but his body's like telling him, I'm supposed to be protecting you from something. It was really interesting to watch him trying to calm himself down because he was just so overwhelmed by whatever the energy of this moon was. But I finally fell asleep and woke up around 2:45 and realized I couldn't go back to sleep. But I woke up with a bumper sticker in my mind, which is weird. And I don't know if you remember this, and I'll get to the next part, but do you remember when there's a bumper sticker a long time ago, some of you young people won't remember this, that said, visualize world peace. Yes. World peace, right? And I was laying there considering, who was it that undermined the most important statement that we all had on the back of our cars? Like, how dare that person? Like, I was like, who actually came up with that to like replace visualize world peace? Like, it was kind of like ticked. Like, why did that, who made that? So I got up and I looked it up. And it was some rock band in Austin, Texas, back just about in 92. And when that sticker for Visualize World Peace, that happened in 87. So it was about 5 years after we all had that bumper sticker on our cars. And then I thought, but you know what? I remember the bumper stickers, so they're pretty smart. Good sales tactic on their band, right? So it was interesting. Anyway, so that obviously was the universe getting me to get out of bed to consider from a kind of a frustrated place, why would somebody undermine such a beautiful message? And Visualize World Peace came from the harmonic convergence and was given in the world's first synchronized global peace meditation, which occurred, get the dates of this, August 16th through the 17th of 1987. What week are we in right now? And there's just no coincidences to that. Right? I was pulled by the universe to look up something, and that's what got me out of bed, that actually got me to the actual point of why these bumper stickers were there, and that was from this last week, 34 years ago. Right? This event also closely coincided with an exceptional alignment of planets in the solar system. 30 years ago, New Age was 34 years ago. New Age believers, pagans, meditation practitioners, hippies, and the spiritually curious gathered at energy centers around the globe to let out a collective Om. The two-day event, which began on the 16th, was dubbed the Harmonic Convergence and is believed to be the first multinational simultaneous meditation event ever. The brainchild behind the event And its hazy theology was Jose Arguelles, born Joseph Arguelles, a New Age theorist based in Boulder, Colorado. I didn't know any of this, right? Like, how cool is the universe? Like, I'm just there, you know, how the universe gets you to go research something saying that you are in alignment right now in this week with some harmonizing energy that's being called. And we all know that we need another convergence collectively as people. And here they had that harmonic convergence and probably thought a lot of things would change. And we're 34 years later, and we need to do it again. But at that time, the celebrations took place at 200 sites in the United States, most notably at Mount Shasta, Central Park, Chaco Canyon, and Sedona, Arizona. 50 other celebrations occurred at sites worldwide, including Ayers Rock, Mount Fuji, Stonehenge, and the Great Pyramid of Egypt. Participants danced, drummed, chanted, and meditated together with celebrities including Shirley MacLaine, which y'all remember, John Denver, and Timothy Leary taking part in the celebrations. Even Johnny Carson even had his studio audience chant Om on the day of the convergence. Like, doesn't that give you chills? Because I think that's what our heart is longing for right now, is to feel that collective energy again. And yet we're feeling very pulled apart and segregated through this illness. We're avoiding this thing that none of us have ever experienced before. And while we all need to collect so completely, the news is just separating us, and making us scared of one another and creating more and more of a divide. And it's nerve-wracking, and I understand being afraid of the illness and all that, but it's just something to contemplate as collective co-creators of God. And the thoughts held in mind, they are what create what we're going to see in the future. So I just want to give you a few pictures of that time. That was the bumper sticker, but this was the one. I want to see that one on our cars again. And I'll order some. We'll have some by next week. This is in New York. That was at Stonehenge. So with some natives, and this is in Mount Shasta. So I just want to share that energy and collectively connect with the mission. The goal that was sought out was for world peace in a state of Om. Om is the collective chant of the heart's convergence with one another. That's why so often when we're in meditation, we start with an Om and we close with an Om. And it also speaks to the power of collective meditation, not just singular meditation, but having that ripple effect of meditating with one another. That's why that first service is so special. You can make a Sunday of it because you're really getting to do the practice of the spiritual work. Here I'm speaking to the tools that we can use, but to be able to do the practice with others is tenfold more available and will actually create some outpicturings that could change your life for physical healing, spiritual beauty, awakenings, answers to questions you don't have the answers for. Your brain will experience your visualization. So what we have to do is put out there, what is it that we really want? So many of us saw the visual of the Afghanistan people hanging off of that plane as it was taking off. And it traumatized me. And I'm sure it traumatized many of you. We've seen pictures of people running with children in their arms, and the kids screaming. And we can't even relate with the kind of fear of being in a place that dangerous. And when you understand the depth of what trauma does to your life, you're literally seeing visuals of a child being traumatized forever. Because somehow they picked a life that was different. You know, we have different karmic lives, we have different lives, but that doesn't mean we don't still take care of our own, which is all of it. If we don't feel empathy towards those situations, then we need to really tune in. Because vibrationally, we are all one. I just saw something go like this. And I just learned about that this week. The big deep breath that validates that you've got yourself just in balance when you did that. Your body just went, ah, truth. Truth. So when we're on this path, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore founded Unity on the basis that we are perfect children of God. And it was never created to be a church, actually. It was actually supposed to be a school. And what it was supposed to be was to be applied to every religion. So people went to their Catholic churches, or they went to their Buddhist temples, or they went to their synagogues, and it was an applicable truth that could be added on to all religions, not just Christianity. So it was study groups to apply the teachings of all religions, because at the basis of all religions is the same message, which is to love your neighbor as yourself and treat others as you would want to be treated. If we work in that virtue, we will feel very good. And if we don't live within that virtue, we will feel really cut off and pinched off from this greater energy, this greater love that directs, connects, and drives every aspect of life. So we have to ask ourselves, what is your aim in life? What is your aim on this path? How far do you wish to go? Do you want to remove only a few symptoms of your life, or do you wish total self-realization? The activation of an inner center in which all good, salvation from anxiety, insecurity, and confusion exists? Are you willing to totally commit to this spiritual life? Because it starts with how we see our life. I had somebody in my office this week that's dealing with some physical issues. And this person said, I just can't stop listening to the news. I can't stop listening to the news, and it's just so heartbreaking. And my question was, as you're dealing with physical issues, obviously we have to be very careful what we bring into God's vessel. We have to bring in the purity and the light of healing love. And for those of us that are very healed in our beings, we need to reach out to the harder issues of this world and figure out how we can be conduits for this love, for change in this world. But when you're dealing with actual stuff in the immediate, we have to be very, very careful about what we let into this vessel. That's all Myrtle ever taught. Myrtle Fillmore, who wrote the healing letters, but it actually wasn't written by her. She wrote letters to people to help them heal themselves physically, help their children heal physically, because she'd healed herself from tuberculosis. And she did it at a talk when she went to go hear this speaker, E.B. Weeks. And she was there with Charles and other people, and when she was listening to this lecture, she heard the words, I am a child of God, therefore I do not inherit illness. And when she left, she was a light. She was connected to the spiritual ether. They refer to the spiritual ether in Unity a lot. If you think of like ether in the old days where they did surgeries and they put stuff on you and made you all high and hallucinating or whatever, the spiritual ether is even better than that, right? And she said to Charles, oh my God, did you hear those words that this person said? And nobody that was sitting with them heard those words. She heard them out of that speaker. So it's not important if the whole collective hears what the message is, because every one of you will leave hearing something different from the sermon. And you might not think that you're sitting in the same room, because we all identify with our lives from the particular thing we are facing. And we grab the pieces that are actually applicable to our life right now. So I have people all the time when they'll say, oh, last week when you said da-da-da-da-da-da-da, I'm like, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. Like that never, like, either I didn't identify with the words I was sharing and maybe there was a different way to look at it, but if you really get it, the universe is always talking to you through everything. Not just the spiritual teachers you're going to see, they're speaking to you through your children. They're speaking to you through a message, like this visualized world peace. I don't question whether that's a direct connection from God. Because if I'd seen visualized world peace, it wouldn't have gotten me out of bed. It was because it ticked me off that it got me out of bed, right? If it was world peace, it was like, that feels so good. I'll go back to sleep. But world peace was like, who would undermine that message? When all I want is visualize world peace in this world with what I'm seeing. The universe knows how to get action out of you. And some of the time, the universe gets action out of you by pushing your limits, by difficult, challenging things, by hardship in relationships, by physical issues, by losing best friendships, by careers leaving and we think all of our good has left us and all we have to do is realize that we have to turn and recognize that there's another door that's opening for us so that how to fall away. But it's having that faith in this divine connection with this greater whole, this greater love we call God, Spirit, Source, whatever word, makes you feel divinely directed and connected. If we have faith that every moment and everything is a divine planned situation, we have, we're individuals, we can make choices if we want to listen to it. But when we have true faith that in everything we're experiencing, it's encoded in God's message for us. I am the in-house prosperity teacher, and I've been teaching prosperity classes here for over 18 years. And I haven't really felt guided to teach them during COVID because I don't feel like that's really the focus right now. There's a time and a place and there's a season for everything. And prosperity classes didn't seem like the most important thing. But you can always find a prosperity message in everything. And this is from the book Prosperity Secrets of the Ages by Catherine Ponder, which I use. This is from Prosperity by Charles Fillmore, sorry. And this is a great book also. According to the Greek, the language in which the New Testament has come down to us, Jesus did not use the word heaven, but the word heavens in his teaching. He was not telling us of the glories of some faraway place called heaven, but was revealing the properties of the heavens all around us, called both space and ether, by physicists. He taught not only its dynamic, but also its intelligent character, and said that the entity that rules it is within man, or within people. The kingdom of God is within you. He not only set this as man's goal or people's goal, but attained it for himself, thereby demonstrating that his teachings is practical as well as true. So we refer to these heavens, this state of recognizing that we can create heaven on earth, regardless of all the turmoil that is happening in this world right now. Because as we keep watching the news, if it's CNN or if it's Fox or you're watching PBS, it doesn't really matter because it all still spawns adrenaline. We should care about our brothers and sisters. But when we're in a state of a holy place, we can handle it. But if we're in a state because of COVID, we've lost our jobs, or our marriages are on the line, or our children are really flailing and having a tough time because they're homeschooling too long, that is your ministry. That is your focus. Because as you heal your family, you heal without. As you heal yourself, you heal without. The bigger picture is for those who are healed and ready to do that. And many of you are that. But also many of you aren't. And if we want a strong stability in our civilization, we have to take care of thyself and know thyself and realize that we are the children of God and we do not inherit illness. We do not inherit poverty. We do not inherit darkness. We do not inherit separateness from this greater power we call God. We are one with. And we have to do the practice that keeps us that connected to the one. There's a little great book called Things to be Remembered that was written by Lowell Fillmore, who is the eldest son of Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, who worked for Unity his entire life after they passed away. And he wrote, and again, this is on the male lexicon. We're going to try to bring our women's side into these. These are old books, remember, so we have to understand that I don't like referring to people as men, but it's just hard to rewrite them, so let me do my best as I read this. God's will for his children is always good, and as they practice doing his will, they realize how much God loves them. Doing his will brings love, harmony, peace, power, and wisdom to all who enter his service. The only way in which a person can enjoy the fullness of God's life is to establish their unity with life through the Christ consciousness abiding within them. So that Christ consciousness that Jesus showed us, I am the way and the truth and the life. Everything that I do here, you do too. You do also have the ability to do. You can overcome any obstacle you are facing if you will only believe it, one, which is faith, and if you only let it. Stop resisting the miracles that want to come in your life, but it's just, we get so attached to what we've already done, and this is a time where everything's falling away that made us comfortable because we have to be so much more. We are expanding into these glorious beings that God put us to be here, and it doesn't come from easiness. It comes from the security falling away and recognizing that it's miracles and action that are happening through us, even through the hardships. When a person understands that the very life that is in their body is the life of the Father coming to them through Christ consciousness within them, they are inspired to live more fully. Knowing this, you have cause to rejoice greatly by bringing your thoughts and words into harmony with Christ consciousness, God's perfect word. God's perfect word. What is God's perfect word? What are some positive words you could say about things you haven't been saying positively about? God's perfect word. I'm a perfect child of God. I do not inherit sickness. I'm a perfect child of God. I am lovable and I'm worthy. I'm a perfect child of God. I'm healing and I'm so grateful. I'm a perfect child of God and I am mother and I know my children love me. I'm a perfect child of God. I see myself the way my dog sees me. God's perfect word. You can bring God's power into your body and affairs to heal, protect, and prosper you. God's word working through your faith is powerful to do good. So, a few weeks ago, I was dealing with I've had a very stressful summer, and I lost a dog, and I went into the summer with the loss of my best friend in December to cancer, and lost 2 more people that I've been really close to from the choir. So there's been a lot of physical loss, like people leaving my life, and then you just top it with a dog, and it just eventually shocks your system. You know, you just start to feel like you can start to believe your good is leaving you when there's just a lot more than 1 year should give you. And it started to bring up some unhealed areas of my life, and I felt this sense of panic just kind of a sense of panic and anxiety that I haven't lived in my life very much. And I wasn't able to turn it off the way I used to be able to turn it off. It was just kind of this feeling like I could never really sleep deeply because the body always felt like I had to keep doing something. Does anybody else feel that way this summer? Yeah, I've had quite a few people that I've met with, and when I'm talking to them, trying to help them, I'm talking to myself. Here, take that, and I'll reflect that back. Thank you. And here you go, and I'll take that back. Thank you so much. They call that the unhealed healer. And that's all we all ever are, actually. And if somebody claims to be something different, then their need to be special is not connected to the divine. We are always, always on the road of betterment and growing. And there is no limit to what we can expand into. So I put out to the universe that I needed somebody to help me get my body out of the state of fight or flight, because I knew it was that. I'm doing my Bach flower essences, I'm doing my exercise, but I'm just feeling this subtle panicking. And I was talking to my son that I had this wonderful woman show up to the church this week, and I thought I had a counseling session, and I had just finished a counseling session, and I knew I had this person as an appointment. And when she came to my office, she said, I don't really know how to really say this to you, but I'm not really here to get anything from you. I was like, cool, okay. She goes, I'm here to give you something. And she does healing work on meridians to help them calm down. She felt that in my energy from watching the sermons. And after an hour with her, I felt the panic leave my body. And it was like God's gift to me. But I've been putting it out to the universe that I don't have this Reiki healer I used to go to. My massage therapist has moved away. All my healing people that used to keep me in alignment have all moved. And I haven't been able to find. I've been putting out the universe. And like here, this angel heard the call and came and helped me. And it was, she's like, you seem to really trust me. I was like, I've been asking for you. You just heard me, and I'm so grateful. You know what I mean? And that's how the universe works. It listens to our call. And I was sharing this with my son yesterday on the way to the all-church cleanup. And by the way, for all of you that showed up to help us clean, it was awesome. And it was so helpful. And it was really a loving, and we really had a great time. We all got to catch up, and it was great. So, but while we were driving in, I was telling my son about this. And he just got back from the YOU rally from Youth of Unity, which is the 14, 18-year-olds, and he's in a very enlightened state. And he goes, yeah, you know, whenever you put something you want out to the universe, it works every time. Literally. If you saw this boy like 3 weeks ago who was just stuck on video games and his guitar and just kind of in a funk from the year, it was just transformative what that trip did for him. I turned around and I said, do you care if I quote you on that tomorrow? He goes, no, go right ahead, because it's just so positive. Yeah, no matter what you put out to the universe, it works every time. I think it's a great affirmation for us to use, right? Like, it was just so assured. And I was like, well, what makes you think that? And he's like, well, I was hanging out with my buddies and these girls, and there's like this one pretty girl, and I was like, And I didn't tell the guys, because I knew that would be, you know, he's like, and I put it out to the universe, and she Snapchatted me and gave me her number. I'm like, that universe, it's so good. It's so good. So, Carl Jung says, your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks inside, who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakens. Your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. That's the most important thing. When I meditate, I put my hand on my heart. And I usually like to listen to holy music, personally, because my thoughts can get busy and get loud. And I want to listen to beautiful music that God composed through all my brothers and sisters. Music is my way of connecting with God. Dancing is my way of connecting with God. All the arts for me is, and when I just sit in that heart space, when you just feel a little off, you'll just feel tears run down your eyes and your face. Because in that space, you're remembering who you truly are. Just sitting there saying, thank you, God. Even if it feels like the apocalypse is happening in your house, and others, just like, thank you, God. Thank you, God. I'm no longer resisting all this. I don't want to try to hold up the entire world with all of its discord. I just want to feel you moving in through my heart, guiding me to that which I am here to do and be, and to help others and bring others along with me. Father, Mother, I'm so grateful for everything that I have, for my health, for my wisdom, for this town, for the people I know, for my children, for my spouse, for my parents, for my animals. I'm visualizing world peace from a state of my wholeness. And I wanted to share a few pictures right at the end of my sermon. You're going to have to pass a bunch of stuff that's on there. Our family went to Taos 2 weeks ago. Had the most extraordinary time after being away from each other for over a year and a half, because, you know, we all get together with Dell and Shad and their spouses and their children, and we all were in Taos for a week. And we hiked and we played and we had what I believe is heaven on earth. What do you think, Dad?
I think it was marginally.
And so I just want to share a picture of my son after he came back from the youth trip. We climbed up this trail that was at the ski resort in Taos, New Mexico. It's with Mike and I and Ty. Look at his face. Is that a happy kid? If you'd seen how downtrodden he'd looked before we went on that trip, that's when we hit the top of what my brother said was going to be a moderate hike, and he's a super, super liar. We were exhausted, but we made it. Actually, the only people that made it was my dad, Tyler, me, Mike, Dell, Lee, and Ever, and Shad. We had about 7 fall away as we did this hike, because they were smart. They were the smart ones. I'm just too competitive. I didn't give up. And then the next picture is of me and my daughter starting the hike before she bailed out. And then the next one's of my whole family before everybody bailed. That's what heaven on earth truly is that connection with the rawness, with family, with being in a space where you're all out of your comfort zones. And you get to play, and you get to talk, and you get to share about the wonderful childhoods that you've had. And now all of our grandkids my parents' grandkids are all cousins and buddies, and they're siblings with each other in a way. So I encourage everybody to take that time to recognize what really truly matters, and what we realized through COVID actually matters. It's really that. It's that time. All right, I love you all so much. We'll take an offering for unity now.
Well, once again, Syntysche hits a very important note that we can all resonate with. The note of being connected to that which is really beautiful, important, and present. And we need these reminders over and over again as we live our lives in these uncertain times, that we are always in the presence of that great intelligence, and we can work our way through any situation, no matter how difficult it may seem, if we rely upon that intelligence and that peace that comes when we turn within and allow it to reveal to us our place in this moment and what is necessary and needed. So we are so blessed to have Syntysche sharing these things. So we freely received, and now it's our opportunity to freely give back. So let us take our offerings in our hands, and if you don't want to give an offering directly, a physical offering, we have credit card dip jars in the lobby. You can dip your credit card and donate to Unity of Boulder. If you're watching this on live stream, we have these particular ways you can donate to Unity of Boulder, and your gifts are certainly appreciated, because that's what makes Boulder continue to share these beautiful ideas with so many people. So as we take our offering in our minds and in our hands, let's bless it with this offering prayer. Divine love is my true life and my conscious destiny. Therefore, I give. Together, please. Divine love is my true life and my conscious destiny. Therefore, I give. And now we have the opportunity to have our Unity Choir share their beautiful music again.
I would like to say that Syntysche came up with doing this particular number, and the whole idea is for you to join us on it, since it's a statement for the whole world. And we're not going to do any closing but this number. So when we finish, the band will continue playing it as you leave and go to our wonderful gathering in Fellowship Hall. So, here we go.
Here comes the time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one.
There are people dying. Oh, and it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will make a change. We are all a part of God's great big family, and the truth, you know, love is all we need. Here we go! We are the world. Everybody. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me.
Oh, so send them your heart, so they know that someone cares, and their lives will be stronger and free. As God has shown us by turning stones to bread, and so we all must lend a helping hand. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. When you're down and out and it seems no hope at all, but if you just believe, there's no way we can fall. Let us realize that a change can only come when we stand together as one. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. that is out in the back. You have got to go there. It has leprechauns and fairies, definitely. It's got fruits that are growing, and it's got places where you can meditate. You must go there so that if you ever have a hard challenge in your life, you know where to go to be with the light of God all around you, living. So go there before the snow comes. Don't miss this. Okay.
To go out there, they actually have it all prepared for you to see this incredible garden because it's about to be at the end of it, and it is so incredible. And Joel Gutman, one of our greatest volunteers, has done all this work, and so few people know all that he's done out there. It is a holy place. So you guys could all go out there after the service and hang out for like 15 minutes, and then all the food will be ready for you to come back to this wonderful luncheon. And if you don't have a dish to share, it's okay, just stay and come and join us. We've got plenty of food.
About 15 minutes?
Yeah, about 15 minutes. So everybody,
Okay.
if you could go out there and say thank you to Joel and Grace Gutman. They've been incredible gifts to our center. We also have prayer partners available. If you're facing a challenge today, just stay seated in your seat. And as you leave, they will come and find you and take you to our beautiful meditation room. All right,
Okay,
thank
let's
you.
end with just doing the chorus.
Okay.
We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me. We are the world. We are the children. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, make a better day. Just you and me. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, make a better day. Just you and me. It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me. It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me.
It should be like you and I thought it should be you and I, but actually that's not proper. You and me is right.
You and me is right. Okay, good. I'm glad Michael Jackson got it right.
It didn't sound as bad